GSL Season 3. This is Rock Shear.
Rock Shear.
That's what it is.
It's Rock Shear.
This is Rock Shear. That series we just saw was certainly Rock Shear for GuMiho.
That was Rock Shear. This is Rock Shear. Only a few more days of Rock Shear coming up here, Artosis.
That's true. Just a round of 4 after this. Now, this round of 8 has been pretty bad, I would say. Like, this tournament has been really good, but the round of 8 has been so one-sided, right?
That only means we're going to have a great round of 4.
Yeah, no, this is something I'm getting to, right? Is like, this has always been a thing where, like, if the round of 4 is super close and awesome, then the finals is bad. Or, you know, that's a type of thing that we see a lot of the time. I don't know why, but I am a human, so I have pattern recognition skills.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm thinking the round of 4 will be pretty sick.
We are going to go to an interview now with our 2 Protoss players before we start this best of 5.
최강 푸푸전으로 만나게 된 두 선수 바로 만나보도록 하겠습니다. 자, 먼저 김대엽 선수입니다. 올해 GSL 단위 리그에서만 3번의 결승에 올랐습니다. 정말 대단한데요.
Stats,
가장 꾸준한
you've been in
선수
3
중에 한 명인데
GSL finals.
예감은 어떠신가요?
Super tournaments, GSL vs. the World in Season 1. How do you feel about this season?
일단 8강부터 굉장히 좀 고비여가지고
Well, the quarterfinal.
일단
That was
되게
so close.
지금까지는 결승까지는 바라보고 있지도 않고
Up until now,
최선을 다해야 될 것 같아요.
I'm not really assuming I'm going to be in the finals. I'm just trying to take it step by step.
3연속 8강에 오른 주성 선수고요. 또 그 사이에 중국에서 우승컵을 들고 왔습니다.
Zest.
먼저 축하드립니다.
This could be your 3rd finals in the GSL.
네, 자 귀국하시고 GSL 경기
Before
임하게
that, you were a
됐는데
champion in
컨디션
China.
괜찮으세요?
Coming back to Korea, how do you feel?
컨디션이 중국 갔다 왔을 때는
And how's your condition?
지금 이틀 전에 감기 기운이 있어가지고
Pretty okay, I guess.
좀 좋지는 않은 것
But
같아요.
I actually got a cold a couple days ago. I wasn't able to
원하지
prep
않았던
that well, so I
상대이긴
can't say I'm in
합니다.
perfect
김대엽
condition.
선수를 만나게 됐는데 어떠신가요?
8강도
So Stats is not the opponent that you wanted. Is that true?
잘한다는 선수를 만났는데 그 4강도 성주라서 이번 시즌은 좀 마음을 비우려고.
벌써부터 마음을 비우시면 안
Quarterfinals got some
됩니다.
very strong opponents. We already know who we're going to be faced in the semis, which is Maru. So I think I got to really focus on each game one step at a time.
김대엽 선수가 더 좋습니다. 그런데 김대엽 선수가 이 푸푸전 개념을 주성
So when we look at in the
선수에게서
past, your
많이
offline
배웠었다,
PvP
이런 얘기를
was you're actually ahead.
했었거든요. 이런 얘기는 주성 선수에게 좀
But
기분
Stats said he learned a lot of
좋은 이야기였을 것
PvP
같은데요.
and understands PvP from players like you, Zest.
서로 연습을
What's your take on his
자주
comments?
하는데 저는 약간 있는 거를 다
So we
알려주고
practice together a lot.
네.
근데 대엽이는 좀 약간 숨기는 것 같아가지고
네.
And I let him know all my tips and all my.
당하는 느낌이
There
좀
is.
들긴 하네요.
아 김대엽 선수 그런
But-
스타일이셨어요.
I think he's got a few secrets hidden from me.
어떻게 이야기하시겠어요?
Stats, are you that kind of person? What do you think on?
아니요,
What's your take on Zest's
저도
comments?
제가 아는 선에서 이렇게 다 알려준다고
Well-
이렇게 생각을 하는데 성욱이가 그렇게 느꼈다.
I also have given him all my tips.
네. 두
So I
선수는
didn't know I'd have those kind of thoughts on me.
오래 먹기도 하고 또
I feel sad that
라이벌이기
he's,
전에 친구이기도 한
giving me those kind of
공감되는
vibes.
친구인데요. 두 선수는 어떻게 서로를 생각하고
So
있는지
these two are
궁금하네요.
former KT
라이벌 의식을
teammates.
많이 느끼는지 또 궁금합니다.
Do you feel a rivalry between you two?
저는 라이벌 의식을 느끼진 않고 그냥 성욱이하고 이렇게 같이 잘했으면 좋겠어요.
No, I don't think of him as my rival.
근데 이렇게 8강
I just wanna have some good games. And I'm hoping that together we're going to produce some awesome, fun results. Everybody watching.
네. 8강에서 만났을 때 그래도 친구보다는 라이벌이 아닐까요?
It is also a sorry situation to
저도
face my former
워낙
teammate.
어릴 때부터
And what about you, Zest?
스타 원 시절 때부터 보고 배웠던 친구라서
네.
이게
So even back in
라이벌이
StarCraft 1,
그냥 그런
Stats and I were
감정보다는
friends.
그냥 같이 잘하면 좋겠다.
I don't view him as a rival.
네.
Just like a friend that I have to play against.
친구인 이 두 선수의 멋진
Just same thing
경기가
Stats
오늘 나올
said.
것 같은데요. 자, 그럼 두 선수의 훈훈한 한마디씩 그럼 나눠보고 과연 한마디도 훈훈할지 지켜보도록 할까요? 먼저
Before we
주성
start the
선수
matches,
한마디
any words to
해주시죠.
each other? You first, Zest.
푸푸전이 이게 약간 기세 싸움이라서 은근히 3대2 이런 박빙의 스코어가 잘 안 나와가지고 오늘 좀
PvP is a lot more about mindset.
재밌는 경기 했으면 좋겠는데 꼭 서로 멋진
I
경기였습니다.
don't think it's going to be a 3-0
네.
or very one-sided
선수
stats.
활약해
Hopefully, we just have some cool matches. What about you, stats?
제가
Anything to
생각하는
Zest?
수전 원탑 성욱이를 이렇게 만나게 돼가지고 오늘 경기들이 전체적으로 힘들 것 같은데
I think Zest is a PvP machine.
재밌는 경기 했으면 좋겠고
It's going to be a really
그리고
tough series.
오늘 내가
Whoever wins, let's have a good time. But if it's okay with you, I hope to win, Zest.
말씀하셨어야죠. 이렇게 김대엽 선수와 주성 선수의 솔직한 이야기까지 들어봤는데요. 자, 과연 마지막
Alright.
GSL 시즌 3 4강
That does it for our interview.
지금부터 시작하겠습니다.
Let's make them fight each other.
All right, that sounds good to me, Tasteless. Let's hope that this is a bit longer than the last one, but it's
Please.
what Zest thinks is going to be a 3-0, so we'll see.
Okay. These are the two best Protoss players in Legacy of the Void.
Don't forget, they're the Vimtims of Maru's 2 consecutive championships. Yeah, it's kind of funny because the next round, no
As
matter
my mother
what happens,
said, always take your Vimtims.
that's I heard that's the best place to get coffee in Canada, actually, Vimtims.
Vimtims?
Yeah.
Didn't know.
But either way, we get basically a round of 4 that was a previous finals. So if it's a Maru Zest one, that's going to be especially interesting. Because remember that? It was like, we had the sickest videos ever.
We
It
had
was
so
so
much
hype.
hype, yeah.
And then Maru just
Rolled him.
bonked him. He
Yeah.
hit him in the head with one of those clown hammers, and it was
Oh,
over.
yeah.
It was like the most one-sided finals since Inca Nest T.
Yeah, it's really weird when we have this big setup to the finals, all this dramatic music and the stage, and then we're like, oh, we're already done.
Yeah.
Looks like everybody in Africa starts drinking a little bit sooner than we expected to.
Yeah. So Zest here comes in rank 5 in WCS standings. The top 4 players are already locked for BlizzCon.
Right.
If he wins today, I'm almost completely certain that he is locked for BlizzCon as well, and it seems very likely that he is going to make it. Like a lot of things would have to go poorly otherwise. And Stats is actually already locked. He is one of the players. It's like classic Stats, Rogue, and Maru are all 100% going to BlizzCon.
Okay,
So.
this is going to be so fun. I do feel like Stats is a little bit better right now. I know that Zest, that some people might say that's crazy because Zest, get to a finals of a GSL. But I think when I look at Stats play overall, I feel like he does seem to have a better understanding. And I feel like Zest is really good at what he does. He seems to still have a little bit of an older approach. Maybe that's because he was so dominant in the early parts of Legacy of the Void. I don't know. Also, of course, these guys are friends in a mirror matchup where you two players know each other and have known each other for a long time. It's kind of weird, what's going to happen. There are mind games we might not even be able to see or follow here.
Yeah, you're definitely right about that.
That's where sometimes you have games that are really weird and don't make a lot of sense, and we have to chalk that up to, okay, they just kind of, they have so much information. They almost have too much information on each other, and they're doing,
and especially in PvP,
stuff.
right? Yeah, you have to take a little gamble on a PvP.
Yeah. Okay, sick. Our game's loaded up. Guys, this is game 1, Zest versus Stats.
Fight.
We begin on Acid Plant, a former GSL finalist from last season.
Zest.
Maru's most recent Vimtim.
You're so funny.
His Vimtim from before that. Bottom right.
Splice. Stats.
It's always bouncing.
Yeah,
Stats is always bouncing in his chair before.
He's just a happy guy.
Yeah. It's getting the blood flowing.
It's happy you are, the more likely you are to bounce, I think.
Makes sense.
Yep.
So we got 2 gates coming down here for Stats.
Yeah, we'll see that for Zest as well. Or not. Wow.
Yeah, we're still waiting.
When you go 1 gate, it's actually super rare to see 1 gate openers. Because you don't have the map at that point. You instantly, your opponent controls the map. And 1 gate openers, I don't think I've ever seen a 1 gate opener that wasn't a Stargate opener too.
Yeah.
This is like, you basically have to sit back very defensively, making stalkers on 1 gate and go into Stargate. That's like, I've never seen anything else off 1, so let's see if Zest...
I think your read is right on that, Artosis.
Yeah.
Okay, there it is. Stargate now inside the main for Zest. We have the probe coming up here for Stats. Does get inside the base scene. It is 2 gateways up here. And this should be basically a full scout. I mean, assuming Zest wants to do that, yeah. Okay, so he's going to move his probe all the way through here and basically see exactly what is and is not there. Especially if he goes up all the way to the top, you'll see the pylons up there and know that, all right, there's nothing hidden on the map at all.
He's going to keep this in here as long as possible. He really wants to see if there's going to be a counter Stargate. Now, Zest at home is making a robo, and that is something you're obviously kind of going to need to do with this. Otherwise, it's a little bit risky, right? Because, for instance, Stats sees this and just knows, oh, I love that hat. That's an amazing hat. Basically says non-Korean on it.
Yeah.
Foreigner. Anyways, I'm interested that he's using this strategy. He's already got his shield battery up and ready. Just making some Phoenixes. Phoenix is obviously going to be a great harassment tool, great scouting tool, all sorts of things. And he can go into Immortals from here and have an observer and just be very, very safe.
So this is a really kind of offshoot game here. Just kind of fun. See that Phoenix coming in now. By the way, it's going to be an Oracle. He pulls that away immediately, as well as the second Phoenix.
Yeah.
Bringing them back.
And that's interesting
Nothing
as well.
From that robo yet.
The fact that Stats is making an Oracle, this is a very tricky play from him because I think he knew from the get-go that this was going to be exactly what it is.
This is going to work. Okay.
Watching Rotterdam play PvP right now.
That's right.
Just
Rotterdam is warped into his body.
Yeah. Warp Gate, you don't need that. That was the big mistake here for Zest. Okay, so the Oracle is an interesting part of this.
Well, the Oracle could end up where Zest thinks he's in a good spot and would never anticipate an Oracle to come in. And even though Phoenixes counter Oracles, Phoenixes have to be in the right position to do that.
Yeah, people have gotten so good at PvP at this point that you can actually make Oracles against Phoenix and count on them doing some damage.
Yeah.
Because, like, see, he knows that eventually this is going to come in here, and he just hits at the same time it comes in, so he knows the Phoenixes aren't home. And so Stats gets way more damage. This is like a very high-level move that, like, for instance, we saw stuff like this out of maybe Hero and SOS last year. But this is the first time, I think, that we've seen someone like Stats utilize this play, which means it's, like, very much more understood at this point. I like it. I feel like this is almost an important moment for PvP evolution.
You're totally right, though. It does show how developed and complex the matchup is, where you know exactly... First of all, you know that they're most likely going to discount that Oracle coming in, but you know when they're going to take the units back out of their base.
Yeah.
And it makes a lot more ambiguity to a matchup that already can go in so many different directions, you know?
Yeah. And it's like you're making a Nexus as Stats, right? Way before Zest. So, like, you look at this and you say, I know he has to come over with his Phoenixes. He just must. And so I can make an Oracle against that and go Blink off of one Oracle. Like, to make a Stargate against someone you know is going Phoenixes and make an Oracle is like, at one point in PvP would have been just dumb because people might not even know what to do with their Phoenixes. The Phoenix just catch the Oracle and he's like, wow, I'm really ahead. Instead, he gets like 8 kills. You know, it's crazy.
Okay, so he's found that hidden Oracle down there. That's been taken out.
Yeah, so still, it did so much more than the Phoenixes have so far.
What is the Immortal count right now for Zest, excuse me?
I believe this is his second coming out.
Okay. So we know he obviously has an Observer mate that's moving around over here. By the way, Blink on the way here for Stats.
Yeah.
It's going to be nice for all these Stalkers he's already gotten here.
Yeah, so it looks like that is the second that just popped. And he can sit back and play very defensively in this manner. But Stats having the quicker Nexus, having you know, the better worker count and all, and getting this Forge up. Oh, he's actually adding 2 gases right now. Okay. I don't think it's like a giant deal, but I was going to say, I feel like in this type of game, you want to take your 3rd Nexus pretty quickly, because the Immortal player can't come out too quickly against you because you're very, very mobile, and he doesn't have a lot of units. So in a situation like that, where you've got the quicker bases and more probes, I feel like it's really super appropriate, and you have Blink, to just go into like a huge gateway style. You can't catch up in the Immortal count. It's not going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So go into that massive gateway
It's like this
style.
whole idea of like create a different kind of race.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the races in the game. I mean, like, if you're both racing towards one point and the other guy has the lead,
Yes.
well, assuming that your opponent's actually good, you're never going to catch up, you know? Or in this case, it's like, all right, well, if you can't beat him in this game, play him in another game.
Yeah.
Try to play around the advantage that this person's earned.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I like,
yeah.
by the way, how you have to be like, I don't mean another race, I mean a race within the game.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I know someone's like, yeah, I want the Zelnaga to be a race too.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, no,
that's not.
We don't
want
to ruin StarCraft.
Yeah.
You might want to ruin StarCraft. We don't want that.
Yeah. No, it's all about playing around, you know, what you have to deal with. Sometimes you want to directly confront what they're doing. Other times it's like try to outmaneuver it. You know, you can have all the Immortals in the world. If you have an insane arc or just a ton of Stalkers with the depths blinking and shading in, suddenly all the Immortals are dead immediately. And even though Immortals are supposed to counter Stalkers specifically.
Yeah. Well, you know, Stats does have his Glaives finishing up here as well as +1. He's getting a third Nexus. He's getting his Warp Prism. I don't know if you can kill Zest here, though. Like,
well, I mean, Zest needs to take a third, I think, before you could ever attack in, right? I mean, if you just try to hit him on 2 bases, and Zest has not done that yet.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that we're kind of in agreement here. Like, if you attack here on the 2 bases, there's a chance that Zest just straight holds. And if you don't attack him, then you're sitting on a depth tech, and as the supplies get higher, that gets weaker, and Zest's army continually is getting stronger because he's making so many Immortals. So it feels like Stats has made a situation where he must get damage done. Even though he's taking a third, he's spent all of his money on these Adepts, so the Adepts have to do something.
I think you're right. Okay, hold on, here we go. The shade forward. The Stalkers, are they going to blink on top?
He better have a wall there. Okay, he does.
Oh, God.
And look at this. He's got the 3 shield batteries. I am liking Zest's position.
Well, Zest just needs to wait this out.
Yeah.
You do make a good point. If you keep getting more of these Archons and Immortals coming up here, eventually this does end up losing. You know, Adepts don't give you a lot of equity.
Yeah. The more Immortals and Archons you make, the stronger your army becomes. And as far as Adepts and Stalkers, both units lose power throughout a PvP when the supplies get bigger. So Stats is now backing up, and yes, he's got a much bigger army, but eventually you're both going to be near maxed, and not everything's going to fire at once, and like the battles are going to become a lot closer. Zest is on top of his upgrades, he's on top of his unit composition.
Okay, so Zest is going to move out now, it appears. Is this a little bit too soon?
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, I think that this is not the appropriate move out time.
Yeah, I thought he was going to wait actually a little bit longer,
Yeah.
but he said he is going to try to come out, and he's actually taking probes.
He's expecting a base trade.
Wow, okay.
It can't be anything else to bring the probes.
What Marine King Prime did.
He's pulling the boys.
He's pulling the boys.
He's pulling the bots.
Okay, here we go.
That is, I don't know about this, Tasteless.
I feel like
You don't have
Zest
to
almost
fear this third that
painted
much.
himself into a corner here. Okay, here we go. Okay, by the way, Stats' Archons are actually in a pretty decent spot. Do some damage, nice juggling over here. A lot of this is going to come down to the Warp Prism control here on both sides, keeping those Archons alive for as long as possible. One Archon goes down, blinking in here on top. There are too many Adepts, too many Stalkers, too many everything Stats. And he is going to win this fight, and I think just win the game. Yeah, GG.
So,
I don't know why Zest did that.
Yeah, no, it was a poor attack. You're playing against a guy who is making all of these units that will not have value long term. If Zest simply sits there, right, he defended perfectly against it. His Stats literally had to turn around. Now, it's not going to be an easy victory still, right? Like, Stats has his third base up and mining before you start yours, but you can go start yours. You know, you can continually build your composition better. And in fact, I was expecting that, and I was thinking, okay, now how does Stats play? Maybe he goes into Disruptors from here, for instance. Right? Maybe he starts...
Well, I thought you had to do something else. It's just so strange. I feel like that was a real strategic decision whip there by Zest.
Yeah, that
attack, that just is not what you're supposed to do.
Your opponent's going to surround you. We were talking about specifically this and why it's like... if Zest is making a better long-term army, you don't come out and attack the army that Stats felt like he had to do damage with. He couldn't do damage with. He backed up, and then you walk out into him.
Game 2's ready. Let's go right now. Stats with a 1-0 lead in this best of 5 versus Zest.
Zest.
Yeah, that was just like, man, I swear to God, if you just both max out and Stats as a 4th base, but you only have 3 bases at that point, but you have like 7 immortals, he's fighting you with a Depth Stalker.
Splice. Stats.
I gotta tell you, Tasis, I think you're winning with your Immortal Archon army against a Depth Stalker.
Well, you've
at max supplies.
You've done. That's the whole reason why that's the standard safe route to play, is because that gets you to a healthier spot in the late game. But it almost seems like Zest, he almost kind of freaked out there. Pulled his whole army and got, oh God, you've got a 3rd base too. It's like, yeah, I mean, well, you could take a 3rd base while you're doing that.
Because there's no way on open ground you're going to beat that much more army supply. Like, you have this temporary advantage as Stats in this situation. And he played exactly into it. It was such an anti-timing. It's like insane to me that basically the Protoss, who is most accomplished in StarCraft 2, right? He has 2 GSL championships. He's been to the finals another time. He has some other tournament wins. Arguably one of the most accomplished ever, if not the most. Makes a choice like that. I don't know. It's...
Well, let's see how the other games go.
Yeah. Everyone makes mistakes.
I mean, yes, it is true. Like, sometimes... Oh. Is that a probe down in the middle of the map? Am I seeing that correctly? Is he going to hide something? I think he is.
Yeah. Should be a Stargate, I would imagine.
A little bit of a gamble.
Possibly. Depths on both sides.
Now, I will say, even though it's not... You're not exactly a straight shooter making a hidden Stargate out in the middle of the map. It's not like this is unpredictable.
No.
Right? I mean, this is
pretty common.
gamble. Right. What's up?
You really like that gamble thing.
It cracks me up. I think it's you. It's you and your voice. And
yeah.
It's just so funny to me.
This is who I am.
It's just
This is
the
how
way
I
that you
talk.
talk about certain things just crazy. Just tickles me, man.
Yeah.
What? So we have Adepts continuously being made here while there is a hidden Stargate out here. Stats is going to show his 2 Adepts over here in the front, which may draw some... Hold on.
It seems like he might be scouting it.
Yes, he is.
Well.
And he does not even show the Stargate the Adepts.
He wants to wait until this finishes. And there it finishes. But this could end up being a mistake. Where are the units of Stats?
Supply.
Oh, they're pretty far out.
Supply. He's going to try and take this out. And there is...
Well, if you're not attacking the pylon with everything.
Yeah, I think it's... Is it going to get out?
I think it's going to barely get out.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't.
Wait. Oh, no.
Wow,
Denied.
Surprised by that chrono. That was pretty obvious that I was not getting out at that point when they had 1 volley left.
We talked about mistakes being made in Game 1. Definitely a big miscalculation here by Stats.
Now, this could be a game where you send the probe out to make the pylon again.
You think so?
Yeah, maybe. Like, if he actually brings all of his units over here, then he can force away the Adepts, and it's so close to being finished, but I guess there's actually a Phoenix on the way from Zest. Yeah, see, there it goes.
Oh! Okay, it went around him.
Yeah, the Phoenix is going to be countering that pretty reasonably.
All right.
So
that pylon is going to be made down here at the bottom in what has already become an insanely weird game.
Those Adepts that we just saw, they were walking forward and their shades came back and then they were walking backwards.
Yeah.
That was like that old music video with the guys on the treadmills.
I know exactly.
It was exactly like that. Oh my god. Someone needs to recreate old YouTube videos with StarCraft units. That would be amazing. I'd subscribe to that immediately.
All right, here we go. It's out. Oh, get wrecked.
Yeah.
Go trying to do a little bit of gamble.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, this has honestly been one of the bumpiest, wonkiest PvPs I've seen. And that's crazy because it is Zest and Stats
Well,
here.
I think that's actually why.
Yeah.
There's actually a lot of mind games, a lot of different things going on that can be a little bit hard to appreciate. Whereas if like these guys were two players playing on barcodes on the ladder and they don't know, right? It's probably going to be these very direct, decisive games.
Yeah, they're both trying to really play around a conventional PvP to the point where this is almost a game where it's going to be hard to learn from. For those of you guys that watch GSL to really just like, you know, snag builds and you know, bring them back to your own game. It's like, this is sort of not how PvP goes a lot of the time, but
yeah, some days are better than others for that. And I don't know about this one. Oh my god, he has a probe not mining on gas.
that's bad. They're up to the Phoenixes here for Zest. Now, Stats already has some Stalkers here to drive this away.
He's going into Blink. Don't know exactly how many Stalkers he's actually going to end up making. Forge is finishing up here. Zest a little bit quicker on that.
Oh, the Adepts get in.
Oh, this
Adepts
is so
got-
sick.
oh my god, these two Adepts
Yeah.
actually doing a lot of damage. Really nicely done.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. 5 kills. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so yeah, let's take a zoom out here. What's actually been lost? Bumpy game here for Stats.
Yeah, Zest definitely
Zest,
getting
yeah,
upper end.
Zest looking good. But let's also remember, Zest played more conventionally and got to a good spot, and then Stats tried to do this time and attack, it didn't work, and then it's almost like Zest freaked out, ran out of his base.
Epic throw.
Zest actually lit his hair on fire, is like what happened in game one. And I don't mean like to reference the, oh my god, my hair's on fire freak out. It's like he lit his hair on fire himself and then went, oh my god, my hair's on
Oh,
fire.
you went to use hairspray, and I'm like, don't do it! This is rack shear!
So Blink's on the way. We have the third Nexus. Starting out for Zest, the Stats is actually taking the third base of his own, getting 4 more gates up.
Yeah, and okay, so Blink is finished up, the upgrade's still going. Slightly faster Temple Archives here for Stats. I want to see what the Immortal count is looking like right now. I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so I think Immortal production just started for Stats, if I'm not mistaken. So we should be up 1 to 2 Immortals, probably non-stop for Zest here until a battle occurs. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
For Zest.
I really want 5 games today. That TVT was way too short.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just now warmed up.
Yeah.
I feel like it takes me a while to be fully booted up in a cast and good to go, you know?
Well, when game one's like reasonably quick and then it's followed by a double proxy racks and the game ends instantly, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. And then game 3 was the weird tech. I'm like, okay, hold on.
Like, oh, this is something I've never seen before.
That was my
okay.
caster throat clearing. I'm not actually even here yet, so.
Totes.
The goats. We got some Archons that are going to come in here. War Prism's out as well. Zest can try to push out if he wants to.
Yeah, going into very similar unit compositions. Now, I guess one of the interesting things is the Immortal count started earlier for Zest here. He just kind of had a little bit of an early lead, right? He killed the Oracle, he flew around a little bit, he caught, you know, the Proxy Stargate pretty early on. And Stats went into Blink, which is not necessarily bad. Like, look how he stopped on 4 Stalkers. Or, well, I guess he has 3 in the main. But it's not like he has a giant amount of Stalkers like we saw in Game 1, where he was almost forced to try to get aggressive with them. If you have too many Stalkers, eventually you're like, well, this is becoming dead supply. But this is an okay amount. This can definitely be very useful during a battle. You can target down Archons reasonably quickly.
Yeah.
If the battle gets to small amounts of units, they're very microable. But right now, Zest has a pretty significant supply advantage.
Yeah, this is a fairly open area here.
He's going to have to pull back into his shield batteries, I think.
Yeah, he might have to try to hug his natural expansion here.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. The War
yeah.
Prism's going to come up here. Oh, this is so good, because the Immortals can actually fight the Stalkers.
Yeah, they
Even with
actually
Blink,
can.
the Stalkers are like, oh god, running back.
They were trying to like zone in such a way that they might be able to blink forward and get the prism or something.
He's going
but
for it. He's going for it here.
Oh boy. All right, let's see it. Zest coming up. He's actually down in probes at the moment, but pushing for it, going for the kill.
Oh, looks like 2 of these Archons for stats do go down.
Don't worry, a hallucinated Phoenix is trying to take out that War Prism. Yeah, this is a pretty
Did he just
one-sided
break
one.
him? Seems like he just busted him down.
Yeah, the 2 Phoenix lifts as well, and those 2 Immortals just absolutely awesome. And Zest crushes through stats in game 2.
I like it. But that early game, look, Zest like swishing around some scope in his mouth, swallows it. He's
Oh,
good
you
to
don't
go.
swallow that stuff.
No, do not swallow that. But that's what it looked like he was doing.
Yeah.
That was a weird opening there for stats. I mean, he
Proxy Stargate.
losing the pylon, and then he remade the pylon, and then the Oracle got killed, and it's just...
The thing is, if they don't make Phoenixes, then I guess you kind of really want to get out your Oracle, right? It's just a useful unit to have, the tagging, the scouting, everything. But he got reasonably far behind. The Adepts from Zest got into his base, got 5 probes. You know, from there, Zest just played a very normal game, right? He went up into his Forge upgrades, he made lots of Immortals, got charged Archons, and went after 3 bases, and just rolled through stats. I wish that he would have shown a little bit more like that in game 1, too, though. It's kind of weird.
Well, let's see what they do on game 3. Our game's our game's just loaded up. Let's go. Zest for stats on Blue Shift.
Fight!
Looking much better in that last game.
Zest.
Proxy Stargate not working for this man.
Splice. Stats.
Oh my god, I almost choked on my water.
I'm going to give little
You're
facts.
so good at these intros. I mean,
little facts about him. Like, it's just something totally that doesn't mean anything. I'm like, standing at 6'1", that's 185 centimeters. Splice stats!
over here, 6'1", soaking wet.
Soaking wet.
Okay. Probe coming out right now for stats. And, probe coming out here for Zest.
Whoa.
We're going to have the probe high five. Boop. There it
we
is.
go. But really, it would sound more like scraping metal, right?
Yeah,
Because
it
they're
would be.
probes. Huh. Oh!
That was crazy. Wait, did he see it? Did he see
I
it?
think he barely did not.
Oh. Wow. I was about to talk about how this game might be a little bit more standard, but, you know, with that hidden probe,
Yeah.
maybe not so much, boys and girls.
I think we're going to see another Proxy Stargate.
Let's see. Shine, show us where it's going to be. And you can see, by the way, Stats is still, or Zest rather, is still scouting around inside here. You can try to count pylons doing this, and you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, and
You know, and
it's a lot of times you don't make yourself rely on the proxy pylon when there's a probe in your base. But something I find just slightly interesting is like he did full probe saturation on his gas right away, which is totally fine. But you know, you look at that and you say, oh, maybe he's teching up, and there could be a probe out in the map.
Yeah.
It's not too hard to actually count probes or SCVs or drones in StarCraft 2 because there's 2 per patch early on, and that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a Proxy Stargate coming up.
Oh, look at this. Zest is checking for proxies, but he's going in the wrong direction. I mean, it's tough, right? You do have to make a decision. I mean, are you going to go up or are you going to go down? Now, this probe's coming out here.
It's going up
okay,
and
good.
down.
He sent.
Oh, I guess not.
Wow. It's like he's scouting everywhere except for this location.
And he actually goes by a watchtower that a probe had there.
Yeah. Well, Zest
yeah.
apparently has his own plans here.
Look at this. He leaves the watchtower now. Sees the probe leaving. He's like, why is a probe up there?
Again, guys, if you're just now joining us, we're tied up 1-1, but Zest and Stats have such a history together that these games are looking really weird. They're both trying to, like, play four-dimensional poker underwater chess right now.
Yes, while boxing.
While boxing, yes.
It's
Solving
looking
Rubik's
good
Cubes.
for Zest, I think, Tasteless, because I believe... Oh, okay, he's waiting for 2 oracles.
Wow.
That's really smart, because I'm pretty sure he made a battery, battery right in his mineral line. Now, this
Hold
could
on.
get a little bit funny, because
Whoa,
this...
whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh,
He
man.
accidentally locked himself out with his own battery.
Yeah,
He
which
needs to
means
remake it.
He doesn't have a battery right now. The oracles are going to kill, like, every probe.
Okay.
But... What? He's just letting the adepts in? He's like, yeah, I want you to kill some of my
Apparently.
probes.
Okay, he's going to finally kill off one. All right, but here we go.
Oh, this is the moment you can run in. Run
Still
in!
Stalkers at the
There's
front.
no units there. They're chasing your adepts.
Here we
Go
go.
up the ramp.
Gamble, 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 gamble.
Oh my god. And he actually just insta-recalls. Okay.
What a weird game.
I think that the recall was actually okay because Zest kind of killed the same amount of probes. I don't think his adepts are the most important thing. But yeah, he's gonna eliminate the Stargate, it looks like. He has the Prism, so he can kind of come over and force his way in once again.
Okay, yeah.
Like his tech overall, like Stargates are having a couple oracles is really fantastic. But in a heads-up battle with the Prism, you should be able to take that, right? It's just kind of your micro potential is so big.
Well, there goes the Stargate now. But these oracles are still out. And anytime you're trying to show anything out on the map, you're saying, well, I might not have that much back home. Now he sees that there's no Nexus here. Again, neither side's really expanded yet. We've gotten to one of these weird games where neither side could expand right away, or you would have been at risk of being abused by the other player's strategy. Stats slow crawling onto the ground here. Think about
Slow crawling onto the ground.
Yeah, it's like, you see him make a pylon down there. I always call that slow crawling in my brain. Seriously,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you're going to try to slowly get down there.
He's slow
You're putting
crawling,
one
I like
foot in
it.
the water, you know?
Oh, yeah.
You only got your ankles in there.
He's got to get used to the temperature of the sand.
Exactly. He doesn't just jump in.
Yeah.
So, he's coming up over here. He can start to chisel away at these gates.
Yeah, this is
Now,
a really good push.
I do see the oracles are moving out again. He still has those 4 stalkers in his main, right?
Yeah, he has some stalkers at home.
That's too bad he didn't deny that a little bit more quickly.
Ooh, look at this.
I wish those stalkers would stop moving in the main.
Yeah, I wish he'd
That's
just...
hurting my eyeballs.
It's not aesthetically pleasing. Now, he's getting the Nexus. That's where it's really good. But as stats, you still have a couple of really good things going for you. You have the Oracles, and your opponent is just on Stalkers and a Robo, which means Immortal drops become very, 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 very strong. If he wants to try...
Oh, wow. Okay, so he's going to lay some traps back here.
Oh, that's smart.
So that if Zest is walking back home, it could be punished.
Yeah.
Wow, and look, he's not even...
He has no idea.
He's not even thinking about this.
He has no idea, Texas.
Beautifully done. Now, there's going to be enough
That's
time, I believe, for
painful.
Stats to try to close in on this.
Yeah, he's coming right up immediately. Force fields might be able to buy him
look at
enough
this.
time, though.
Yeah, what force fields? Here we go. He's coming in now. Okay.
Yeah.
He's slowly doing it. I don't know. I think he can actually shoot down the Warp Prism here with these Stalkers if he gets close enough. There is an Immortal out here for Zest.
Well, there's a lot of Stalkers here. The Immortals, of course, doing some heavy lifting for Stats. Zest going to back up the ramp. He has 2 more force field robots.
Okay.
Ooh.
It's actually kind of tricky to juggle this away.
Yeah.
You have this many Stalkers out.
Oh! Okay.
Army supply is 30 to 35, so I mean fairly even.
Yeah.
I don't know if Stats can really advance on this position that Zest has.
By the way, we're seeing Glaives again. Trap set this
New
old
precedent.
style back in. It's funny, too, because Trap just kept going Glaives and then just didn't make it out of the group. Just Glaives. Every game, he's like,
Yeah.
no, this is good, trust me. And the thing is, I believe it. Like, there's some very sharp attacks you can do and, like, force your way into victories sometimes. But it's just kind of funny to see, right? Because it turned into just a charge meta for so long. But I like the call by Zest. He's looking at this saying, oh, God, you just started your Nexus. He's just going to have so much more economy. The overwhelming move of Mass Adepts seems likely to be able to break him, but Stats is actually going into Disruptor tech.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, against Adepts, it even could be Colossus. I don't think that'll be the case.
Well,
but
it's going to be really interesting if it is Disruptor Tech. I think one of the things about the Glaives is it's like this upgrade that allows you to try to eke out a lead in a very specific amount of time, especially when other players are trying to tech or expand, and gives you just a lot of power.
Yeah.
But of course, Adepts in general, they're not ideal units later on. I mean, eventually everything's kind of better than them in the long run. So let's see.
Well, the first Disruptor is about to come out. He already made a couple shield batteries, I think, defensively here. Ooh, this is a great location to go with your army.
Laying some traps back over here.
It can go the long way. This is going to buy enough time. He's going to have 2 Disruptors when Zest actually hits now, just because he walked up to this location.
He also had his Oracles laid 2 traps just left. They're there.
Mm.
Can you imagine?
That would have been crazy.
Whoa!
Wow.
Okay, now with the Warp Prism here, he can pick that Disruptor up and run away, but he needs to cover over here the rest of
Oh, beautiful micro there by Zest.
this. Okay, he comes in, takes out a lot of those Stalkers. These Disruptors still a factor in this game.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
Look at how many Adepts right now are frozen.
This is so crazy.
Now, do you time out a Disruption ball
That's what I was wondering.
I
Can he
need
get
to
it?
see it.
Please?
One time. Another Shaden does
He's
get
done.
frozen. Oh
Okay.
my god.
Beautifully done.
Yeah, these stasis wards have been insane from stats.
It's smart too, because it's just the way people behave when they try to maneuver with Disruptors, with Adepts.
Yeah, it's kind of predictable in that way.
Thing is, I mean, does Zest still have enough to maybe break through? Oh my god, beautifully done.
Well, he's still trying it. It looks like the shield batteries are out of energy at this point. The 2 Immortals definitely doing a lot of work for Zest.
He's trying to use batteries that are on his high ground now. Again, juggling with the Warp Prism while Oracle activated again here. And I think he's actually done it. It's just the 2 Immortals left, and Zest retreats.
Okay, but
wow.
Zest has Immortals, and he's playing against Disruptors. It's still doable, I would say.
If he wants... okay, I thought he was just going to try to drop, but he's going to try to shade these Adepts over here since there is a blind spot inside the main. Ooh, okay. Trying to advance over here. He could try to get a position over where the Robo is.
Ooh.
But once the Disruptor comes in over here...
These Disruptor shots have been so good.
Well, that's the whole thing about Disruptors is you can get such value out of them, especially against units like Adepts that are going to clump up.
Yeah.
And just get...
They're just amazing against Adepts.
Yeah. It's like
not
the
like
unit to get against an Adept. Now, he's going to try some Disruptor shot drops of his own. Excuse me.
Yeah. I mean...
It's fine. It is what it is. He takes out the shields on that Immortal.
yeah.
Takes some of that energy out the battery. It's something, I guess.
Uh-huh. Gets a Stalker. It's like, okay. I mean, Disruptor drops can be very good. They definitely can get some damage done. Oh
okay,
my god, that would have been...
Away.
Pick up the Stalkers. Oh, here we go. Oh my gosh. He wants it so bad.
He's trying.
He knows that can't hit, but he still does it.
Does the Warp Prism have to just keep going down to the right? I think it does.
It'll go over something and then recall is the way you should do it.
Oh, yes, it's good.
Protoss players frustrating each other with recall for once.
Looks like the Immortal Drop's going to come back in again, though. So we're about 13 minutes in. Nobody's even been able to take a third base.
Well, this is
so action-packed.
This is a super cool game, too. The fact that both sides are just kind of sitting around making Adepts and trying to drop each other.
Yeah.
And it is such a strange game, right? Because if you don't have a Stargate and you don't have Blink, these types of drops can just kind of go on and on and on.
It's funny because you'll see the Adepts and Zealots come out, and that's like enough to make the Immortal pick up. But you're right, there is nothing that can hit the Warp Prism for the time being. So Zest can kind of freely roam around over here.
Last thing you want to do is make Stalkers without Blink against someone who's just making Immortals nonstop.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this, 4 Immortals versus 4 Disruptors. This is going to be one of those special games where we just are like, which unit's better? By the way, I think he's going into his own Disruptor tech here. Second Robo. Disruptor tech on the way.
Well, if you look at it, he's actually forced him to make a lot of Zealots at the depths of his own, so it kind of makes sense.
Sure. Yeah, he's picking off those stalkers that did get made. Oh, pick him up! Whew. He was so low.
Wow, they are both crazy low right there.
Yeah, they're red as can be. Couple lobster immortals right there.
Damn right, or
Can't
some
lobsters
Christmas
live like
immortals, if you
100
will.
years or something?
Lobsters?
They live a long time.
100 years? Is that true?
I think they live a really long time, yeah. You see what I see? Oh, look at this.
Look how funny this looks.
He's trying so hard right now. Wow, he really wants to go to the next round, doesn't he, Tasis?
Okay, Stats is moving in.
Yeah, he's Zest is getting blink right now, so if he can live for a little bit, this could work out well.
Oh!
Disruptor
Just out of
is
range.
Truly an enemy of itself.
The Disruptor No Man's Land has basically been created here. He's going to try to chuck a few more in here. Not bad. Takes out the Stalkers. Is that actually enough for Stats? It might be.
Yeah.
One Disruptor alone's not going to cut it.
Oh, well, that... you say that and he blows up 3 Disruptors with it, but yeah, there's hardly any units left here. But if they're Disruptors, maybe it's enough. No.
What a game.
Yeah, that was a crazy one.
So it looks like Stats is going to take this one as he finally pushes through. 15-minute 2-base game PvP. They're both harassing each other the entire time.
Yeah, this was an awesome game.
Yeah. GG.
All right.
Stats takes it. He's in the lead 2-1.
Yeah. And Stats has to be feeling good about that, obviously. But they seem to be such a good match for each other. I think we might get that. We could get that game 5. What do you think, Tasis?
I like what Zest has been trying to do. I do get the feeling that Stats is just a little bit better.
Well, I loved his counter of getting into the Disruptors, and all those stasis wards were insane. Like the ones catching Zest trying to retreat, and then the ones that just kept catching Mass Adept Shadens. If he hadn't had those, I think Zest kills him.
Yeah, well, that and also the bumpy game in Game 2. I'm feeling this for Stats. Guys, we are going to go to a short break. When we come back, Game 4, Zest versus Stats.
This place, a palace of light drawn with shade, of silence and pretense, a token of our trade. And here, you and I lie wreathed in flames, all over a life lived by making up new games of gazes and whispers. I want you to know I still love you, even though we've been dancing on broken glass. Parade all your memories, for the moments we share never fade away. I want you to know I still love you when I walk down the memory lane. When the night swears its love to the stars, there will be no more tears today. Hey, hey. We shared a penchant for cyanide praise, fashioned our armors of empathy's malaise. And all of that hurt, and all of those words that we said, you think we poisoned the ground on which we tread. But the lining is silver. I want you to know I still love you, even though we've been dancing on broken glass. Parade all your memories, for the moments we share never fade away. I want you to know I still love you when I walk down the memory lane. When the night swears its love to the stars, there will be no more tears today. Hey, hey. The best of intentions will not fears. Come hell or high water, we'll trust there's a life for us here this way.
아프리카 TV에는 당신이 아는 것보다 다양한 인종이 살고 있죠. 말 많은 인종, 발 빠른 인종, 잘 먹는 인종, 영리한 인종, 친절한 인종까지. 모든 게 컨텐츠가 되고 누구나 주인공이 되는 세상. 알고 보면 멋진 세상.
Are you free? Africa TV.
(2018) GSL Season 3. This is Rush.
That's right. In the lava-themed Code S GSL season, we've had some crazy games. We're about to get that last player to go on to the Final Four. Stats right now with a 2-1 lead against Zest.
Yeah.
But I think it's totally realistic that Zest could turn this around. He is a great player.
It's close so far. It seems like overall Stats has had some very cool moves. Like those wards that game, man, into the
They were
disruptors.
pretty sick.
There was just some really neat stuff going on there to stop that mass adept play.
Yeah.
It's funny to see how much these guys are using mass adepts and how much it's just not doing anything every time.
It's funny, right?
Whether it be Trap in the previous round or these guys here, whoever attacks with the adepts first has actually just not been doing any damage with them. Stats did win that one game, but it's only because Zest moved out into him. But
yeah.
Anyways, Catalyst, map 4.
That's right. Our game is just now loading up.
Another proxy Stargate for Stats, do you think?
I don't know, man. Maybe. Let's find out. We're ready to go, guys. This is Zest versus Stats.
Fight. Zest.
Hasn't looked bad today. A couple mistakes here and there. Some mind games, I think, in there as well. Hard for us to detect.
Splice. Stats.
It's kind of interesting to watch Stats kind of evolve as a PvP player. There's once upon a time he was still one of the best Protoss on Earth, but it seemed like his PvP was a bit behind everyone else's for the top Protoss.
Well, it seemed like he was too cut and dry.
Yeah.
In some ways, he was like trying to play the clean, correct way, and I feel like Protoss versus Protoss since like the early days of StarCraft, you've had to be a guy who can take risks, who can bluff, who can lie.
Do a little gamble,
as one would say.
Yeah.
And I think that he's shown that he can do that as well. I mean, Stats is someone who is still blossoming into a better and better player.
Yeah, he is one of these never-endingly improving players, which is really the way you want to be for longevity.
Now, Zest is also kind of an interesting story as well because he really came out strong in Legacy of the Void, right? And it feels like people have caught up a little bit.
Certainly.
You know, and for a period, it looked like Zest was going to continue to ride this train and maybe become like where Maru is now, right?
Yeah.
Where he came out strong. He seems to just be working on covering all of his bases and is going to be this all-around solid player who actually could win, half or a little bit under half of all the tournaments. Kind of like where Rogue is now or Maru is now. But
it did seem like that.
It seems like Zest is a guy who is, when you give him new toys, new tools to play with in the game, he can come up with the best strategies first. But Stats is somebody that if you leave him around for long enough, he's going to come up with a better answer.
Yeah.
And that seems like what some of our games have gone with today. I mean, the game that Stats lost in Game 2, there were so many things that went wrong early on for Stats. Mm-hmm. He was still looking pretty okay, but there was a lot of moments he got tripped up in the first few minutes.
Yeah.
Like losing that pylon when the Oracle was about 2 seconds out from coming.
Mm-hmm. Certainly the case. And that's kind of interesting the way that you describe it there, too. Because I guess both these guys have spent time as the best Protoss in the world.
Yeah.
But I think not many people would argue that Stats is the best Protoss in the world still right now. Even though, like, the last finals, Zest was in it, Stats wasn't.
Really?
Stats was in the finals before that.
I always felt like Stats has been the best, like, off and on for a while.
Yeah, no, I just said that.
Yeah.
No, we agree.
Okay, no, but I guess you're saying some other people wouldn't think that, but yeah.
I'm saying some people would maybe, someone might be able to try to argue Classic, but I think it's a little bit different. Anyways, both of them have been the best at some point, right? And it seems like just the way that they play, Zest is way more flashy, and like Zest top tier, best form, best games are like so insane, whereas Stats is just consistently solid.
By the way, these adepts of Zest coming over here and hitting Stats, now trying to run away, blocking off some of these over here at the pass so they can maybe shade in a little bit further. But there is a nice block, and now these adepts are basically isolated down here.
Yeah, he's going to have some trouble here because he is going up against that 3-gate Robo play. So, for instance, that Nexus has 0 chance of being alive at the end of this push.
Right.
He's just making Immortals, and he probably needs like a shield battery up here, a second pylon powering those gates. 100% he needs that. He's trying to keep Stats back as long as possible with these adepts. See if he can maybe sneak in. If he can sneak in, that's where you might just win the game.
Oh, so sick.
Look at me. I'm going to Starcraft. I'm going to Starcraft.
I'm better than you now. I'm better than you now.
All right,
damn.
So,
well, this is just
huge amounts of damage.
Feels bad, man.
I'm surprised he was standing on that ramp.
But, whoa, did you just see that Stalker slide forward like that?
Look at the probe kills. Oh, my gosh. 10. That's where it's going to end. But 10 kills is insanity. He is trying so hard to keep this Nexus alive. He might be able to do it. What? Well, I guess, Stats actually never made a Sentry of his own here. That definitely could have been helpful. Looks like he's making some now. I think he knows that he has to get the Nexus. Like, not only does he have to get the Nexus, I think he needs to get Zest up the ramp as well.
So crazy, man.
Wow.
23-15 as far as workers go.
Wow, that's so different.
Yeah.
Some people might look at that and say, but it's only 7. Oh my gosh, Tasteless. It's so many, though.
That's a lot.
Sometimes 7 is a really big number. Like, Tasteless, if I ask you, like, how old you are and you say you're 7, I'm like, well, that's not very old. But if I ask you how many planets you've destroyed and you say 7, I'm like, damn, Tasteless. Whoa! You're crazy, Tasteless. Right?
Exactly.
It just matters.
Like, in this case, 7 probes is a lot.
Yeah. Whereas it's an hour long PVZ. How many probes do you have? 7? No, that's not so much.
Oh, God. I have tears in my eyes. My sides are... it's true, though, man. It's a lot.
True.
It's a lot.
It's just, it matters what you're talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the beauty of language.
Zest is trying to come out on the map here. He's got his Immortal moving down. Actually, he might be able to wedge that in front of the Stalkers. That was so perfect what you said. You're so funny. Oh. Okay, so we can cut these off at the pass here, which means Zest is
Oh, I love the amount of Warp Prism Immortal play that we're seeing today.
Yeah.
Because it's so powerful in these situations. Just like, they don't die.
Yeah. Wow. He gets exactly 2 more back here. That with the battery is not going to be enough. Well, excuse me, the Warp Prism will not be enough to fight that. And you notice Zest sent the rest of his army back when he saw there was no Nexus. You know, when these two guys play, it's very hard for either of them to actually get another base up.
Yeah, their micros both very, very good. He's going to be able to probably get this. No, not quite. Forced back. Nexus has started here for Zest, so that's a very important, thing to look at. Stat's going to have to get that up ASAP. He actually sees that it is started. Look at this. He's like, you're going to have to recall. He might try to shoot it in if it's not in hold position. Oh, he was not even going to give it a try? Come on. I'd have tried. But the trick is you actually make a Void Ray. If you're going to do that, right?
Yeah.
But then I guess you can't scout with it. It's because the Phoenix would just start shooting and make it go away and give him the warning. Whereas if you like fly behind it and then shoot it and it's on warp and it's not on hold position, then it will fly towards the Stalkers and you might be able to pick it off. Anyways, whatever.
They're both finally trying to take their second base. We do have that Adept Glaives upgrade coming in here again. This time for Zest.
Oh, thank God. I can't wait to see an Adept attack do absolutely nothing.
That's what goes on every time, man.
Ooh! Almost gets that Immortal.
Okay, good escape here by Zest. Keeping Stats pinned.
Yeah, and
it looks like Zest actually might move out once more. I think with the Immortals, Sentries, Stalkers, Adepts that he already has, he might try to put pressure on the front. Maybe even combo this into an attack with the Warp Prism, or he could try to fly back and hit with his own Warp Prism Immortal.
Yeah,
as well.
100% he's going to get that Nexus. There's not any shield batteries there.
Well, not only that, the Immortals aren't. 2 of them are still in the main, right? I think they're coming down now.
Well, yeah.
And Resonating Glaives is done.
Oh,
I mean, this is just...
This Nexus is gone. Oh, he's trying to fly his Prism out right now. He actually got it out. Look at that. Okay, well, that shade was a little bit far, but it's working out.
Yep, the Immortals are actually edging in now.
Oh, got to do that juggling still. Picks up that very hurt Immortal. Wow, really good micro there by Zest.
GG. All right.
Hell yes. All right.
Thank you. Now we go to our 5th game after a TVT that was so short.
Yeah.
It was like just an, you know what, it wasn't even like the appetizer, the TVT that we had. It was like the chips and salsa that they give you right when you sit down.
Oh,
it's like the bread rolls.
Stuff?
Yeah, it's free.
That's what, when I go out eating with Tasteless, he eats that and a glass of water. I'm like, God, Tasteless.
That's how I keep my girlish figure. No, this series has been great, and we are going to go to Game 5. I have no clue who's going to take it. These guys are so good.
Yeah, I mean, it is as back and forth as it can possibly be. It almost feels like a coin flip as to who's going to win this one. Like, who's going to take that gamble? Is it going to pay off?
I don't know, Artosis. I'm fine with whoever moves on. I really thought Stats was going to win out of these two, but
well, you might still be right.
Be adapting.
Dreamcatcher next. It's definitely a map that can be a little bit crazy for PvPs.
Sure. Also a map you can absolutely proxy on.
Yeah.
So
totally.
Let's see what happens, guys. The winner of this goes to that last spot in the Final 4 of the last season this year of the GSL Code S. Artosis.
Yes.
This is Rockshear. Oh, God, I'm good.
You're really pumping me up. You know how to hype.
I brought it today, didn't I?
Zest.
Those Adepts were clutch.
Splice. Stats.
Well, here we are, Tasteless. Game 5, Dreamcatcher. Getting ready for that second gateway.
So one big theme with these two players is that it's actually really hard when you have these two guys fight each other. It's really hard for either one to get a second Nexus up. Like, the games are so intense. There's so many dogfights going on with Warp Prisms.
Everyone's playing so aggressively.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, you know. Now, PvP, if you do get a second base up and the other player gets a second base up, things slow down a lot.
They really do.
But so far, these PvPs have just been action-packed.
It's just like how far apart your Nexuses are. That's really what's triggering a lot of these Adept attacks, is if someone's Nexus is almost done, you start yours, they're like, oh, well, I'm going to get my gates up quicker. I'm going to get an extra round of units out of those gates because of that. And, I mean, in these kind of like medium-sized armies, the Adepts do very, very well.
Yeah. Kind of crazy, too, that we saw those Adepts shade inside the main. You know, there's so much stuff going on a lot of times in these PvP fights. You got to be so on top of your army. Sometimes those Adepts will actually shade in there and just start killing workers.
Okay, so you know how people say, like, you give someone power or something and you see who they really are, right?
Sure.
You give someone a bunch of power and you see, like, what type of person they are. You put stats in a game 5 to go to the round of 4. You see what type of person he is, man. He made a sentry first.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, I'm going to scout what you're doing this time, Zest. We're not messing around with this anymore.
Yeah. Well, he's got to play safe, man.
Yeah, he's getting a Stargate, and of course he's got the Sentry, so.
He's got water wings on, he's got a seatbelt on, he's got a helmet on. So the Adepts of Zest are coming up, trying to hit the Stalker. And there's a probe here to bounce that back out.
Sidestep back off. Another 2 Adepts on the way.
So Zest Nexus is coming up here now. Is this going to get scouted? And again, the Adepts are trying to shade inside. Yeah, I don't believe that he saw that. I don't believe he had confirmation of the Nexus, but I could be wrong.
He might have been he was just on the edge where you get the high ground vision there, but yeah, I think you could be right. I don't think he quite saw it.
So there's Phoenixes coming out now for stats. There is a Robo here as well for Zest.
Well, Phoenixes generally tend to do pretty well against Robos. He's just like going up into Immortal drops. He's like, that's really been the killer. Flies into Phoenix. Uh-oh.
So he's going to get to scout this all now. Here comes that hallucinated Phoenix. There is a real Phoenix on the way. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah.
Right on top of these Stalkers.
Yeah. You can definitely do that. Look at that. He actually just kills the wall-in device.
The wall-in device, as they call it.
Yeah. I don't call it a shield battery. It's not for healing. It's for walling in.
Yeah. Okay, takes up that sentry.
Yeah, he's
going to start getting a lot of these workers.
He killed a building. Yeah, okay, he's actually going to get some workers. Huh. That's obviously like the most valuable thing. The sentry's really nice to kill too. 6 workers.
Damn.
I mean, it's not 7 tasteless, but
6.
It's still pretty
good.
6
planets destroyed is still a lot.
You better believe that, okay? God. Tasteless over here being all Thanos-like. I don't even know, man. Like, Tasteless, you can't even name 7 planets. That's really reckless. God. It's like very selfish. Like, you don't know if there's life on those planets. Could be one day.
Not anymore, Artosis. Okay, so Stats is going to try to come out. Now, losing that many workers in this game, I mean, he has to try to do something to come back. There seems to be more than enough Stalkers over here at the entrance that he can't actually attack in. But with these Phoenixes coming in the main now, he's starting to balance out this worker count.
Yeah, you're definitely gaining value over time with those. Of course, the Adept kills give you value right up front. You know, he's got his Prism across the map. I don't think he, like, can break him or anything here unless... No, there's no way, right? Like, you just have Stalkers and a Prism playing against us. If he recalls those Phoenixes, that Prism's not going to stay alive, especially if you have a couple of Mortals under it.
Okay, here comes the 2 Adepts now. He's going to try to sneak these in and start taking out workers. And again, he's just going to try to continue to cement his lead.
Jeez, so good here. Can pick this up, maybe just shade through.
Oh, you know what?
Oh my gosh.
This is actually going to get worse. Zest has really been outmaneuvering Stats here.
Yeah. That's too
5
bad,
more
too.
kills.
You know, nothing feels quite as bad as floating around your enemy's base with 37 energy on your 3 Phoenixes and then losing 5 probes to a Warp Prism with 2 Adepts in it.
Yeah.
Because you know what counters that pretty hard? 3 Phoenixes with 37 energy.
You can stop that before it starts, Artosis, and he misses the Warp Prism.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Does anyone else think that maps are too big?
Yeah. Wizard. That's so crazy. Things are really just not going Stats' way this time around. So there's 6 more gateways coming down here for Zest. Zest is about to have a lot more muscle. By the way, the 3rd base is on this map. You're taking them fairly far away from your natural. And they're very open. They can be attacked pretty easily.
It's kind of a long map, so it takes a little bit to walk down.
Right.
Warp Prism
But
helps
you know,
with the reinforcements.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is with PvP, of course, once your main army gets there, you can reinforce very, very easily. So tension builds quickly, PvP fights.
This is so funny that the Warp Prism's flying back now.
And here, once again, these 3 Phoenixes are over here. Poking in, taking out workers and this and that. I don't know if there's anything over here to actually defend in the main, is there?
I think he actually has a Stalker or something on the edge there. He definitely has a couple pylons, but by the minimap, it looks like, there are a few Stalkers just sitting waiting. Yeah, he saw it too.
So those Phoenixes should go back now and try to get anything else. Okay, not bad here by Stats.
Yeah, some reasonable kills. But when they are later, the kills don't count as much as the early
5 kills. What are those 2 of Zest Adepts? I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first player to take the 3rd base is going to be Zest. This is what we were waiting for. Now, Stats is kind of in an odd spot. He's had to play catch-up for most of this game.
And do you see this? He kills the Adepts, and his Stalkers got out of position. Immediately, the Warp Prism went back. Looks like he turned it around. Decided there wasn't quite enough time. I like the idea, though.
Warp Prism never taken out by those Phoenixes. And he's going to start warping in.
Yeah, this is
he's
a
gonna
lot
have
of units.
He's going to have a good contain. He'll probably try to push in here as well.
I don't think 6 Stalkers stops this.
I would say no.
No, those
all these
Archons
sentries are pretty useless, too.
Oh, my God, yeah. The 3 Archons just
think we're seeing
through.
Beginning of the end here. I mean, that's just too many Archons. Zest with too clean of a harassed game here. GG Zest is the last player to go on to the Final 4.
That's pretty awesome and pretty crazy.
Wow.
Geez, so you know what, Tasteless? This round of 4 has 3 of the players that were in the round of 4 last time. TY, Maru, Zest. All 3 of these guys were in round of 4 in Season 2.
Crazy.
Yeah, only Neeb coming through as a new player there, and a possible Royal Rotor, of course. Stats, unfortunately, not quite making it. That's okay, he's already going to BlizzCon. I think Zest is locked now. I'll have to double check that, but I don't think anyone can. I don't think he can be. I don't think 4 people can get ahead of Zest anymore on WCS points.
Hey, beautifully done by Zest. We're going to go to an interview with him, see how he's feeling. By the way, guys, we have another StarCraft cast later on today.
Yeah, StarCraft 1 cast. ASL.
That's right, day 1. Follow our Twitter accounts. We'll put the link there so you can find us.
And Jaedong's playing, so you want to find
That's right.
공허의 유산 GSL 프로토스 우승자 간의 대결 승리자는 주성욱 선수입니다. 바로
We've got our former GSL
축하드립니다.
champion. Zest moves on.
네.
The winner's Zest.
정말
Congratulations.
짜릿한
Thank you.
역전 승리네요. 먼저 소감 어떠신가요?
That was a thrilling comeback victory. How do you feel?
세트에서 준비한 전략이 괜찮아가지고
네.
이 경기를
The strategy prepared on the first map.
제가 예상했던 플레이를
I thought the strategy was really good.
무난하게 해가지고
I thought if I win from there, it should be pretty straightforward and easy for me to come on top.
준비했던
But
의도가
Stats is a smart player. He handled it very well, and it was much tougher
흔들리는
than I thought.
순간이었던 것 같습니다. 오늘 카탈리스트에서 사도가 본진에
Today
난입하지
on Catalyst,
않았다면 이런 승리가 있었을까 이런
the
생각이
Adepts hadn't
들어요.
breaking
그
through at that
순간이
moment,
확실히
started killing
의미가 클 것
workers.
같은데요.
You might not have had this victory.
16강에서 유진이랑
What was that moment for you?
사도가 잘 나뉘.
So when I was watching
네.
SOS play in the round of 16,
수비를 할까
his Adepts just kept breaking into opponents' bases really easily. So I thought maybe I should be trying to do this a little bit more often.
역전의 발판이 됐던 카탈리스트 경기였고요. 와, 그 카탈리스트 경기도 재밌었지만 블루 시프트 경기를 얘기를 안 할 수가 없어요.
The Catalyst game
비록
was pretty
패배하긴
fun.
했지만 역대급
But
푸푸전으로
the game on Blue Shift was awesome as well.
사도를 그렇게 많이 정지상 수험으로 묶었는데 그 경기 굉장히 많이 아쉬울 것 같아요.
그 경기도 제가 리플레이를 봤는데 생각보다 더 유리했더라고요.
네.
별로 그렇게 많이 유리한지 몰랐는데 일단
Oh, they're talking about when the Adept was caught by that stasis ward. Although it's Adept. I almost have to watch the VOD to tell you how I feel about that. Things are happening so fast, I don't think I processed it all.
자, 오늘
Anyways, that was disappointing for
이렇게
me.
주성 선수의 저력으로 만들어낸 역전승입니다. 사실 주성 선수의 저력이 김대엽 선수의 어마어마한 승률에 좀 가려져 있었습니다. 올해 푸푸전
Stats PvP win rate is over 90%.
12승 1패였거든요.
Not anymore.
김대엽 선수가요?
모르셨어요.
네,
He had
몰랐어요.
12 wins and 1 loss. So how do you feel taking down a player like that?
이걸 12승 2패로
He said
만들어주신
stats?
거예요.
He says I didn't know that. Okay.
이제 아셨다니.
대단한 일을 했네요.
네. 그런데 이걸 이겼으니까 더 대단하신 거네요.
So you've given one extra loss of stats. Aren't you happy about that?
다시 한번
Well, that's
축하드리겠고요.
cool. That's amazing, I
마지막으로
guess.
이제 4강은 조성주 선수와의 미리 보는 결승전이 됐습니다. 이 조성주 선수와의 4강전 각오를 들려주시죠.
Seems like the semifinal is going to be the rematch of season 2 finals. What's your take on that?
결승에서 만나가지고 져가지고 그때 더 일찍 만나고 싶다 했는데
Well,
좀 말을
I lost against Maru in the finals.
일단
So-
상황에서 만나게 됐으니까
I would have preferred.
꼭 복수할 수
I
있도록
think-
열심히 준비하겠습니다.
네, 알겠습니다. 다시 한번
It's going to be interesting facing Maru before the finals. I'm going to put a lot of prep in, train hard. Please watch me. Congratulations again.
만나봤는데요.
Zest, he says thanks.
완성된 4강 대진 확인해
And
보겠습니다.
there we go, Artie.
Yes,
Artie
indeed.
McFly.
And we have our round of 4. Maru versus Zest. Again, the rematch. And then Neeb versus TY. A couple awesome TVPs. I can't wait.
Guys, could Neeb get into the finals? I think
How
he
crazy
could.
would that be? It is possible. It is possible. TY has been playing unbelievably cheesy
The
against
non-Koreans are
Protoss.
catching up, man.
It's true. First Cyril, now Neeb.
So that's fun to have an American here in the Final Four. Definitely mark those dates on your calendar. You do not want to miss out.
So we have switched the times for these, right? So
Right.
we're going with the Neeb TY first because Neeb has to go to WCS Montreal. So that's going to be on Wednesday.
Yep.
And Maru versus Zest, will be on next Saturday at the regular time.
Correct.
Excellent.
Guys, we have ASL later on tonight. Let me see here. It's, what is it, 3:10 right now?
Just under 4 hours.
Yeah. So join us in 4 hours. Just check our Twitters. We'll have the link there. I don't believe it's going to be on this channel. So
No, it'll be on our Africa channel. We'll check if anywhere else, but definitely do check that out. Jaedong is playing tonight. It's going to be awesome. And of course, today that PvP series was really fun. But Maru GuMiho, wow. Especially that game 3. What in the world?
Maru looking like he's seen the game on a level we have not really seen before, especially in TBT.
Looking forward to this round of 4, Tasteless. I feel like there's not a finals that would be bad here.
No, we're fine. We're fine no matter what, man.
Yeah,
These
we're pretty
games
good
are-
to go.
Yeah.
Occasionally you can look at a round 8 and be like, ooh, I see two bad finals
There's
here.
2 ways this could go wrong. Yeah, that's all the time we have, guys. We'll be back in 4 hours for StarCraft 1, Day 1 of ASL. Thank you so much for joining us. We love you. Have a good morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are.
There's a place at the end of the
road. 2018 GSL Season 3 Rock Shield.